All right, we're going to check out a video today by Darren Shaw of Brights. Really like these guys. They do really great work. Let's see. Let's do it this way. He's talking about 6 Google hacks that actually work. Let's try it that way. That's interesting that it didn't bring that up. YouTube is supposed to be a great search engine, but it didn't grab GBP with. Oh, that's interesting. So all the way down here. That's interesting. That's an interesting little tidbit. Yes, 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 yes. You want to sell us some soap. Okay, here we go. Darren Shaw. I'm assuming you can hear the audio. We'll find out. But I just want to say I have huge respect for this guy. They do really great work. If you haven't checked out their website, you definitely should. Yeah, exactly. It's the Brighspark. It's White Spark. Guys, never use stock photos. Never. And try not to use the AI slot photos. A better alteration of this would be to upload. You can go to these AI headshot generators and upload one of your photos, and then say, "Show me talking to some customers. Show me talking to a man and a woman. Show me talking to a woman on the street, man on the street." You can also upload scenarios, like you can upload, like, I don't know, if you did something for uh, homeowners, then you could say, "Show me talking to a homeowner in front of this home," and you can upload the house itself. And what that does is it gives a couple of anchor points that are real, so that it doesn't look like complete AI slop. As we move forward in the age of AI, I really believe what you're going to begin to see is what I would call AI aversion. We're already seeing this quite a bit, where I actually uploaded a video the other day, and a guy, it was all me, but he said, "That's AI." And I was like, I don't know. I don't think if AI was coming up with a human, they would come up with me, but they did. They accused me of it. But that just shows you that people are already, there's already where people are getting their hackles up about AI and being resistant to that. So you want to begin now to put together a strategy where you could put together good content out there. So I just saw this stock photo and had to point that out. Yeah. Mm. Now I'll pause this. I'm sure I'm wrong on this because this is Darren Shaw of Whitespark and not Brightspark, by the way, not Brightspark, but Whitespark. Uh, I feel very certain that you cannot put text on images in Google Business Profile. They may have changed that, but I know for sure that we've had photos rejected for that reason. So before you just go willy nilly running into the fields on this and just throwing up all these photos that could get you in trouble with Google's TOS, check that out. I'll check that out and I'll get back, but you can leave in chat here if they've changed their policy or something. Yeah. Mm. So I'll add to this. A lot of business owners struggle with video. I was talking to one just today. They're like, yeah, we would do that. We're going to do that later when we got time. Listen, what converts really well and always will and is impossible for AI to replicate is you shooting a selfie video panning across. So think of my of this shot over my shoulder and there's a home in the back. Maybe I'm painting a house, maybe I'm roofing a house, maybe my crew is on the roof. You say, "Hey, here I am in Dallas, Texas. We're putting up another roof over here from this hailstorm in the spring. Give us a call. We'll help you out." Being done. 10-second video. Those kind of videos convert really well. They tell your story perfectly, and people, I can't explain it, but people just, if you think about yourself as a consumer, if you're looking for somebody who does a service, think about how connecting it is for you to watch that person in the process of offering that service. It's really strong and it's super easy to do. And now you can upload this to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Reels, LinkedIn Reels. There's probably a dozen real platforms, not real versus fake, but you know what I mean. Platforms that offer reels, and it's super easy to do. You can use propagation services to do it, but you can just pop it in straight off your phone. Probably 10 minutes total investment. 10 minutes, and it gives you content. If you do that 2 or 3 times a week, you're way ahead of your competition. And what he's saying here is really valid because that video stops that scroll. Because as you saw, and I'm sure you've already experienced it, when you're looking for a list of restaurants near you, when you're scrolling, that video is going to stop you. So can't overemphasize that enough. Mhm. That's one I'd never heard of, I gotta admit. And anywhere in Texas, Spanish is an obvious alternate choice. Now, what I don't know, and I'm very curious about, is how much that will translate through because it might imply that your business speaks Spanish. So there might be some turbulence on the back end. They may call you expecting you to speak Spanish, but I think the front end goal is ranking, which is uh, far more important because it's going to get the call in the first place. But I know in Austin, in the Austin area, we have high Indian population. I know in Dallas, there are areas that have high Indian population. So not only might it be an opportunity to name the business in the alternate name, you may even want to have a statement in those other languages in the description. If you would like to see this website in Hindi, now this is a deeper dive, and you'll want to get some pros to help you with this, unless you already have a high degree of knowledge. But I'm definitely going to pursue this. So the play would be something like this: put the alternate name in there, and then in your description, or maybe in a post every once in a while, say if you would like to see this information in Hindi, click here. That would take them to a version of your website that would have your services on maybe a page or 5 pages of your website that would be in that other language. That would give them the opportunity to see that in that language. I don't know how much because at some point you're gonna have a break. Here, I'm saying a lot of stuff halfway. Here's what I'm getting at. At some point, if you have all this information in Hindi, and then at the end of the day they call you and nobody at your business speaks Hindi, there may be a turbulent point there. So I don't know how much payoff there is. There is a whole SEO play of launching your website in a different language, but that's in a different country. So I don't know if that would play the same way. It's an interesting concept, but I think at a minimum, you've got the front end benefit of the ranking. So this is something we're definitely going to deploy on all of ours, on all of our clients. Mm. Yes. 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 Mhm. Yes, can't overstate this enough. This is one of those low hanging fruit, easy, simple, cost you zero money. It's also a reason to go have those profiles. I've got a client now who just absolutely will not uh, put up an Instagram account, and I keep telling them just get it up there, get your services out there, post on it once a week. I get it if you don't want to be on Instagram all the time, but get the accounts up because it's one more point of reference. Remember the old days of ranking on the blue links, the 10 blue links, and then having your map profile as a backup, those days are gone. Okay. I cannot emphasize enough that we are in a new age. We're in the AI tsunami and it's going to sweep away everything that you thought you knew about marketing. Now, if you imagine it, the best way I know how to describe it is if you think of it like you've got an attorney out there who's arguing for your business. They're in a court of public opinion, and the public is saying, "Hey, AI, make a case for Bob's Painting Company to be the best one, or to even be a valid return on any search that I do for painting company near me." Okay. What you want to be doing is offering all the evidence to put into that AI attorney's hands to then turn around and give here are all the reasons that you should look at Bob's Painting Company They're a great painting company, and here's why. That you've got to give that attorney the opportunity to have the evidence to present on your behalf. And what you have here is you have, I think it's up to 9. I'd have to double check, but I think you have up to 9 slots. Now you can't just go put anyone in there, but you have to use the ones that are provided. So they're pre-selected slots. So you've got one for Facebook, one for TikTok, one for YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. Use those. Go get those accounts up. Spend an hour a night for 9 nights. Take some of your content. Some of those selfie videos are perfect content for this. Describing your services, what you do and where you do it. Put them up on there, and now you've got these 9 active accounts with material on them, and they're linked in GBP. So you've got a two-way linking there, right? So you've got the link going out from GBP to them and then coming in from them to GBP. So in both cases, Google's AI, Gemini is going to pick that up. Claude, especially, ChatGPT, I think to a lesser degree, and Perplexity all have the ability now to crawl, and they're going to go find these evidence points. So you've got to take advantage of this. You just have to. It's the new world. It's like still using a horse-drawn cart in 1950. It's a new world. Everything is trucks now. You got to get rid of the old tactics. You got to get into the new. Mm, mm, mhm. I'm going to pause this here to cover a couple of things. If you don't know, this is a perfect time to stop it. So, if you're not familiar with these terms, then what he's talking about is proximity radius. Okay. So, Google gives you 5 miles by default in general. These are general terms because it's all dependent on population density and competition. Generally speaking, the higher the competition, the smaller your radius is going to be. Okay. And then the higher the population density, the smaller your radius is going to be. Because in general, the more population, the more competition. Now, if you sell purple cupcakes decorated by poodles, that's such a niche business that you're not going to have much competition. So you're outside the norm. But if you're a roofer, if you are a painter, if you're a remodeler, if you're one of these high competition businesses, then your radius is going to shrink. Now, if you work really hard for a few years, you can expand that radius out to probably 7, 8, 9, even 10 miles. And radius, just for all those of you who don't remember math like I don't, it's the distance from the center to the edge. So a 5 mile radius is 5 miles from the center of where your business is located, the address where your business is located, not the place where you want to be, but the address where you are located. That's the center of the radius. Okay. Now, like I said, you can get it out to 10 miles after you work really hard for years. But what you don't want to do is go pick this new location within, I would say, 7 miles, center to center, within 7 miles of the other, or you'll cannibalize uh, off the other location. Okay, so keep that in mind, and then I'll say this a couple of things. There's some specific tactics that we use that work really well with this. So you can comment down below and just ask for information. I'm happy to share it with you. But the things he's talking about are very accurate. There's a few things you need to do very specifically, and I can walk you through that. Just give me a shout. If you have not checked this out, this is an authoritative, like foundational uh, ranking factor study that uh, that they release, that White Spark releases at least every 2 years. Sometimes they'll do it every year, but it's a massive study. And you can see the first thing is your GBP category. That's number one. Number two is proximity. This goes right back to your radius. So if you want to be relevant within 5 miles of the business address where you're at, you can win. But if you're not within that five, if where you want to be relevant is not within that five, you've got to look at a new location like he's talking about. Mhm. So the last thing I'll say on this is some people get confused because they have a category in their mind. Like you might call yourself a roofing service or a roofing contractor, and the category is roofing company. You cannot change that primary category. Whatever Google has it as, this is very similar to the social media platforms we talked about before. You can only use what Google already has listed. So if you're Indian restaurant, you can't be Indian food restaurant. Don't try to change that. Don't push up against that. Don't try to push that rock uphill. It's not going to do you any favors. You can sometimes add those in additional services or in other areas that you can actually offer your own descriptions, but not in your primary category. You've got to use the, and sometimes this is kind of frustrating because sometimes it's too broad, but we have what we have to work with. We can't change that, so just don't try to change that. If you want a sauna, there's a sauna. All right, all right, all right. Let's unmute. Let's back this up a little bit. Yeah. So for you home service folks, this I really like this idea. I don't know why I hadn't thought about this before. So, like we talked about doing the selfie videos, try this. Go do a selfie video. Here we are. We're about to start on this kitchen remodel. Here's what it looks like now. Do a selfie video, pan video of what the kitchen looks like. Just do a nice, slow 10-second video. First day of demo. Hey, here we are, first day of demo. We're about to tear all this out. Your guys are in the background knocking stuff out, making a lot of noise. People love that stuff. Here we are. We're doing the MEP and we're moving utilities, blah, blah, blah. Here we are, first day of painting or whatever your next stage is. Here we are, first day of cabinets. Here we go with countertops and backsplash. Here we go with final coat of paint. And here we are in the final. And do your best to shoot it from the same perspective. Now you've been posting all these individual videos, but now group all these. We've done this in Instagram. I don't know why we hadn't thought about doing that in GBP. So I'm learning right along with you. Isn't this fun? But yeah, you can then group that into one video. That works really well. Now I'll add to this that I know with Instagram, when you create and edit, you can edit right on their platform. You might with Instagram, you can then download that video. Now you've got this edited video you can use in other places. It would be interesting to see if GBP allows that too. If you can download your own stuff, I know you can download out of YouTube. So I'm very curious about that. I'll bet you can. So let's finish this up. That last one's curious. I'm gonna try that out, test that out on a couple. I'm a little bit unclear. You're going to it as your own business, and it still has the same feature that you could leave interaction just like you were at a restaurant. We've done that for our clients. We go into their GBPs and then go and visit local restaurants and things. That's a good feature because it gets your name onto the restaurant reviews. It's a great thing to do for your community too. Highly recommend this. Go to your local chambers, pick some of those businesses, go give business to them, and then review them. But do videos and stuff like that, and your name gets onto theirs, and now you're both building each other's businesses. But as posting on your own stuff on your own site as a customer, we'll have to test that out. I like that idea. Mhm. All right, I wanted to give Darren all his props, let him advertise all of his stuff. If you have not checked those guys out over at Whitespark, there's a reason he took that over from I think David Mim was the guy doing the ranking factors before Darren took it over. There's a reason he's the 800-pound gorilla in the space. He's very, very well respected. They really know their stuff. So hopefully this is giving you some good tips and some good ideas. If you got any questions, if there's anything we can do to help you, happy to do it. Yeah, go out there and have a great day.